So here we have an example of a forest farm that is using a polyculture arrangement in the understory. So as you look out through here, you might not see much in the way of rows of ginseng, and that's very intentional, and it's something that we're trying to encourage people to move away from, the idea that you're going to plant rows of plants in the forest. Instead, when you look carefully, what you'll notice underneath a lot of these briars and other plants that are being managed. So he is managing for future overstory and against invasive species and so on, is that there's plenty of ginseng. So as we just peel back this elderberry here, you notice that there's a ginseng plant here and a ginseng plant here, 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 there's another one there, and so on out through here. Lots of different stages of ginseng plants, many of which are at a reproductive stage of development, many of which are going to set seeds and start to self-propagate themselves, so we can get a naturally cyclical arrangement of ginseng management in this area, instead of thinking about it in a linear fashion and I'm going to sow a row of plants and I'm going to harvest them after 10 years. We've got an arrangement here that's more on a perennial cycle. So we can get in here and we can thin this out over time, and as we thin it and manage it, we also get natural propagation in the area. So this is what results after time of just allowing and doing a minimal amount of managing. It's more of subtracting negative species, invasive species and so on, and leaving the rest of the growth in here so that we can reduce the influence of disease pressure and so on in an area like this. So with agroforestry and forest farming in particular, one of the things we're trying to do with these understory plants like ginseng is not only maintain a diverse polyculture that's supportive to the plants that we're interested in, particularly the crop species, but we're also thinking about the overstory conditions and the type of habitat that we're creating and maintaining. One of the things we can see in the distance are owl boxes that he's placed in the trees. And those owl boxes are designed to encourage owls to take up residence and deal with some of the other issues that he faces on this particular environment, because every grower will face issues. And on this particular site, we've got a problem with woodland jumping mice and other rodents that come in and predate the berries and the seeds in late summer. And so by creating an environment that's conducive to predators of these rodents, instead of putting poisons in the woods that would reduce those predators, this grower is trying to encourage a natural balance here on the site. And so it's something that is often hard to kind of quantify in terms of what the value of that kind of management approach is going to be, but it is certainly a ecosystem management strategy that has the least impact on all of the critters found in the environment and may help to promote rodent reduction in the future.
The reason I have the cats is I have a lot of trouble with mice here and voles. The voles eat my roots, and the mice, they eat my seeds. This is my first year. I'm gonna keep him in here for probably another 3 or 4 days, and I'm gonna leave him loose and let him do the hunting. I already have a few around here, as you've seen as we was walking in. They're running through the ginseng patch, and I think they might help me clean up on these mice. I have no other way of doing it. I tried traps, and it's really hard trapping acres of woods. So this is my plan. I can't put out mice poison because it would not pass the organic certification. So you have to come up with some natural things, and like I said, I tried trapping and I'm losing the battle. Well, first of all, this plant is yellow. Most of the nutrients are back down into the root, and I'm going to dig down, and if it is not the size of at least my pinky, I don't want it because it's too small for me. I use this digger to start exposing the root. Meaning it has a little bulb on this side. I'm going to say that it has maybe a prong. No, I think this will be all right. I also use this to pry tree roots up. I want to get as much of this root as I possibly can. There you go. There's my pinky. I know this root is probably going to weigh 9 to 10 grams. And I snap this off, put this in my man purse. And then every time I dig one, I always want to put 20 seeds back in the ground. But being there is a lot of ginseng in this area, I will go I'll find a place there isn't that many. Possibly here. Okay. There's my 10 berries.
Look at that. Is that? No, that's not in there.